Alright guys, I couldn't wait. I finally got it done. I think I got the sound I'm looking for, so I wanted to let you guys see it. There she is, finished product. Of course, that's a single lifestyle handle. You guys, if you know the channel, you know by now that that's on all my reels. So here we go. You guys ready? Moment of truth. What do you guys think? Be honest. If you don't like it, let me know. I think I like it. Now I did change up. If you guys watched the last video, I didn't put this piece in or any of the stock ones. I found out what my noise problem was. This wasn't quite big enough around. So I used one of these. I think that may have even came off of Abu Garcia. But it was a little bit bigger around, and I notched the holes, just like this with this, just like I did in the others. And then I had to notch that out so it would have the room for the, I forget what they call that, but the piece that goes in, and that's what gives you the instant anti-reverse. It locks into this, and that's what's on that outer, bearing on the housing. So once I did that, installed it, and we're good to go. So should be good. I guess if you guys want to compare it, the one that, let's just do what the stock one. I know, I always try to make mine quick, but that's a stock BFS XG. Hear that? I got this one kind of tight for some reason. This is the reel you always hear me going, oh man, that drag's loose. And I've got it cranked down pretty good this time. But that's the BFXG, the stock one. Here's one I made that actually, out of all of them, I like that sound the best. I don't know why. It's like a crisp, crackling crunch. Oh, look out, jig. So, then this one, it's close. It's right there with it. And I think the difference is, no matter what I do, it's going to sound like that. That's magnesium, this aluminum. They tend to just put off a different, the sound kind of comes out different. Now, I'm not sure about the side plates. I'm not sure. I didn't even check when I had it apart. I want to say that's an aluminum side plate, too. And that's why it's it's a little touch. I mean, it's good. It'll work. You BFS fishing, you don't. I run, this reel is actually going to probably only have, it's 10-pound test, only going to have a 10, sometimes 6-pound leader. So that's going to be perfect. I don't know if this is the first one out, if anybody else has put one in one of these yet or not. But anyway, that's it. I just wanted to get that out there real quick. Some of you guys want to hear that if you want to try to make your own like I did, or I'm definitely not going to try to make any to sell. I'm not. They don't come out looking that good, but the sound's all I'm worried about. And it seems to work. So anyway, look forward to more videos featuring this reel, and I know I got a man. Like I kind of like to have that table. You guys have that table where you just leave everything lay and then it's right there when you need it. That's kind of what this table is down in the garage until one of the kids hits it with the basketball, and then it's game over. All right, guys, get out of here. Go buy some bonsai for yourself, and thanks for watching. Stay tuned. Now, oh boy, I know I can't ever finish right. This reel, it's kind of growing on me. I will admit, I got Jason that's commenting how it's way better than his with the other stuff, but this reel and the baits I throw, and oh, look right here. I got in another, and he's not quite the identical color. That's the only bad thing about Aliexpress baits. I got in another Dr. Frankenstein. The bad part is I ordered two, and it only gave me one. But that's Aliexpress for you. But that bait right there, I can't tell the difference. This reel, that reel, and even the PW100 throw this little bait, which I want to say is like 3.5 or 4 grams, very well. I love them big hooks on it. This is an awesome bait. While we're sitting here turning this into an unboxing video, I picked up a couple more of these, and if I like something or not, I order more. I order a bunch of stuff just to test, and if you don't see me ever order any more on the channel, definitely I wouldn't recommend them. But the little poppers right here are awesome, so I ordered a couple more of those. Like I said, the Dr. Frankenstein, they're so cheap, only a couple bucks. I think that color goes pretty good. I mean, I think either or are about the same, so I got that color. Got a real bright one for real dark water. That color just looked good to me. I don't know if you guys can make out that color, but it's a yellow belly. I always like a yellow belly, a little bit of red, but dark, kind of a little bit clear water. And this is a bait they gave me instead of the other Dr. Frankenstein. I have never really ordered any of these from Aliexpress for sure. Maybe they gave it to me to try. Maybe it's an omen. I try that and I start catching them on that too. I mean, it looks like a good looking bait. And I got one of these kind of just wild, oddball looking colors. I guess that could resemble a baby bass or bluegill in the water. And is that it? That's about it. I'm out. What? I might order a bunch. They look nice. They do. I mean, that's one bad thing about AliExpress. I get on there and you can't pass up the $1.50, $2, and if you order 5 or 6, a lot of times the shipping, like some of these is like $1.50, and then 50 cents or dollar to ship each one. But if you order 5 or 6, they usually combine the shipping. I mean, you just got to put it in your cart and look and see what they did. And if they did do that, like these are very, it makes these even way cheaper buying them in bulk. And they are definitely good baits. And these did come with the bigger hooks. If you guys remember my other video, you're waiting on a spool, it's taking forever. Yeah. AliExpress, and I think it's a whole COVID thing, but I'd had pretty good luck. I know if you order, and I keep recommending the Decaying, the Teton rods. I know one thing, the Decaying Teton rods I order, they come fast. Like, Decaying orders them very fast. And there's one other company, if you guys remember the square bills I ordered, the little bitty square bills, the last 2 I ordered came within like 2 weeks. The Decaying Tetons and the Conquerors, for that matter, if you order them right from the Decaying store, they tend to get there pretty quick. I'm showing it right now. That's my PW100. Now, it doesn't look like a PW100. You can see it's a fish band PW100. I added this to actually get the feel of this, and I still don't like the feel of this one. I've talked about that in videos. When I thumb that, I want my thumb like high up on the spool. I've just gotten used to that. The Aldebarans and Metaniums feel awesome. This PW100 sets way low, so I just cut a piece of cork, and it actually feels, it kind of looks, I don't know. Still not sure if I like the looks or not, but it works perfect. I mean, when I put my thumb up there, it's instantly down to where before, I don't know, I was like way down here, and I felt like I needed to like push the button and then go up here to get a comfort, how I cast, to where just adding that, and it's a pretty big gap I filled in. So it's actually as high as the top on the edges are, instead of having that real cutout, and I don't like that on low setting ones. Some guys like that. My Metanium's actually got that red one that actually I don't like it as well as the stock one, but the red looks cool, right? No, this is not the original handle. That is actually, I think, off an old Abu Garcia. It was an 80 millimeter carbon fiber handle I cut down, and then I got videos out showing you how I do this if you want to look for them, and then how I made this. It's just a wooden knob that I actually painted to get it or stained it basically to get it that color. It was like a real clear, almost a white wood. And the only thing this reel really needs to look not cheap and cheesy is this, the drag star is just a plastic. It's not even, whatchamacallit, Zion like the Alphas. I kind of was going to put this on a different setup, but I figure I ought to keep together the combo, the rod and reel I recommend from Aliexpress. So until a rod or reel beats out these in my, how for what I fish and how I fish and all that, this is a combo I'll keep together, and occasionally when I'm using it, I'll tell you that's what I recommend from Aliexpress. The only thing is, and you guys let me know, I've heard on the forums, somebody mentioned, not forums, but Facebook pages is what I mainly go to now, because it's so easy just to share stuff. That's one thing I hate about Tackle Tour. If you guys are familiar with them, man, trying to get a picture put on Tackle Tour, it was like a all-night experience. But the newest one out, they call it either a Pro or you can get the upgrade. It's real easy to spot. It's got the purple spool. This is purple. The little purple knobs. I heard somebody tell me that that reel has this clicker already in it. I can't guarantee that. And also, just by looking on the websites that carry them, they show this stock spool weighing like 9.3 and the purple one weighing 8.3. So if I buy another PW 100, it's going to be that purple one just for the spool. But then I'm hoping it does have the drag already in it, and the clicker, and I don't have to add that. Are you talking about the audible brake setting? Are you talking about the dial to click on the Aldebaran? Because I don't think there's any mod, as far as I know. That's the that's the one and only like downfall to this reel, and that's why this reel in that department, it casts a little easier. I wouldn't say a lot easier, for especially for the baits I throw. I still like this one just about as well. This one's maybe a touch better. This one weighs more, is why I still lean towards this one, and this one comes with the clicker on the drag. But if you're talking about this clicker down here to where you actually set it, this one is awesome. I've talked about in other videos, that is the best. And the Real Test did a thing, and he said you can't see that. I can see that fine. That I can't see, and I can't hardly turn it, and you can't tell exactly what you did. This, I literally don't have to look at it. I can put my, see, I know I'm pushing forward. I went one click, so I'm back to where I was. I'm pushing backwards. I went one. So I could actually be out there setting, turning this, if I need one more, and never even look at it, to where that thing is a nightmare. But these reels are actually so good. Once I get a setting there, I put this one on different rods, throwing way different size baits, and I never mess with that again. Once I get it where I like it, that's one good thing. If I had to set and dial with that, play with that thing, every time I went out, I probably wouldn't carry those reels anymore and use them. The handle nut for the PW100. Which one do I have on it now? I lost you guys there for a minute. If you're talking about this, both of these pieces, now that nut's all screwed up, or the screw, all of that could be bought off Aliexpress. Now I did have at one time, where is it at? These can also be picked up at Aliexpress. The Real Test, who I saw with these, and so I tracked them down and ordered them. But honestly, when I had that on there, it kind of looks big and gaudy, and to get it turned and put the screw in to hold it, the gaps are too far. You can't get it, I couldn't anyway, as tight as I needed it to be to get to the next one, so I had to back it off a little and put the screw on so that it actually would let this wobble, under a lot of force. So I kind of did away with these. They look kind of cool on certain reels, like bigger reels, like these little PW100s, like on I think the Real Test put this on the Revo, I don't remember which Revo, the X or the, I don't know. He put it on a Revo, and it looked pretty good on it with the big handle. But just to give you guys ideas, there's all kinds of stuff on Aliexpress. Now I got this a while back, and just never even used it because main reason it's too heavy. And if any of you, I'll give you guys a little tip. If you do any cold water fishing, don't use aluminum knobs. They will make your hands way colder. That aluminum, when you're trying to use it, like will make your hands go numb very quick, and it doesn't have to be that cold. But that's a real cool looking one. Like if you guys are building some of these, some of you guys do this. Some of you guys build them up and won't fish them as much, or you got shelf queens or stuff like that. Some of these Aliexpress parts are pretty cool and real cheap. That's like 15 bucks, I think. And would make a real nice. And I mean, it works, it functions. It's just, I'm not using any of these. If you remember, I had the tackler or whatever, the blue ones that looked awesome, but man, they got my hands way too cold. I like these foam ones. I got the OG Daiwa cork on this one just because, you have to. It's an Alpha's reel. It's got to have the Daiwa, right? OG cork. These I kind of like, but I'm kind of leaning away from those nowadays. My favorite thing to use are these right here, these little foam ones. They're comfortable, they look cool. Get them in different color camo, either with the double handle or, order one set and you got enough for two of your handles if you're into the single lifestyle. And all these can be bought off Aliexpress, and I bought them and cut them down because back in the day I'd cut up the stock handles and I'd go to sell the reel and nobody wanted this, and so I'd be like, oh boy. So now I just buy it, anywhere from a $10 to $15 handle off Aliexpress, chop it up. I got the stock handles sitting there. You ordered a drag clicker. Take a long time to come in. Do you order it from eBay? I mean, I would think that, I don't know, most stuff I order from eBay is usually a couple weeks, if that. Some stuff's a week. Revo X, saw that video, yeah. And also, I guess I'll tell you guys why, I've had a lot of people wanting to know the exact links. And AliExpress is hard to navigate and find stuff without knowing or having the link. But in my process and over the years, because I'll give a shout out to Tackle Tour, Bass Boat Central. If you guys aren't familiar with those sites and places, go there. But I'm also on Average Joe's Fishing Club. I used to be on one called Tackle Porn, but those guys, we kind of, I don't know. I was Abu Garcia back then, and some guys with Daiwas get a little butt hurt when you start talking about Tatulas, but I have a Tatula now. The old ones were too big and too bulky and outdated, and if the new Tatulas start coming like this, I'll probably have Tatulas. But when you can get, and this one, when you can get these Aldebarans that weigh like 4.5 ounces, or the Revos, not the ones they sell here in the States. This one is the only one. This one and my Tatula SV are the only ones without drag clickers now that I own. But these reels will take a beating, and I fished this one on a heavy action rod, and all season long there's no issues. So why do I want a big bulky reel? And it casts real good. It's a 50. Why even mess with big bulky reels now if I don't, if there's not you don't have to have them like that. I had it made. I ordered it from Facebook. Huh. Search drag click kit on Facebook. Yeah, I've seen several of them. I just figured if I can make my own with parts I had laying around. So what did I make in the last few days? I had one on this. I actually had this thing, I think, rigged in the PW100, and it sounded weird, so I took it apart, and it gave me an idea. I was like, I ought to just make them myself. I brought out all my old parts, and in case any of you guys are wondering, I don't know, this is going to be a long video, but I've got old, I believe that's I still have most of this Alpha's reel, I believe. That was a Finesse Custom, I think. I still have that spool. I believe that's a Type R spool. I think I have another one in here. I have several old Daiwa parts. I think I still have, yeah, that's out of the TD Ito, I believe. These are just like been sitting around for years now. Some other Daiwa parts and junk that once I finally decided to get out of, kind of go away from Daiwa and try Abu Garcia's, I just shoved all the parts off the side. So now I started pulling them out, seeing if I could use them somewhere else. Since I do have a couple Daiwas. What was I going to say? I need to get out of here, but I was going to talk about something. I can't remember now. Oh, right here in this video, I mean, people ask me, why do you do this, or why this and why that? This all started, this, what I now call, I just kind of named it because people kept asking about it, so I put a name on it. Single Lifestyle, kind of off, you remember Lychee Style, has all these different handles and stuff. I did kind of I didn't copy that name, but you know, that style kind of gave me the idea of like, oh, Single Lifestyle. And I had my girlfriend's sister like message her like, I thought you said he was with you. And she saw a post about Single Lifestyle I posted. I don't know, it gets me in trouble I think more than anything. But this came from, I was diehard Daiwa. And these Shimano guys, you know these Shimano guys, I'm going to say it one time, Shitmano. The Shimano guys were bragging and boasting about, and not even the new Aldebarans, the old Aldebarans, and what did they have in the States? The Core, I think, 50, the you could get the Chronarch 50, the Corrado 50. That original Aldebaran was lightweight. They started making and having shallow spools for them. And those guys were posting pictures up, sitting on their scales of this, you know, awesome looking reel, and just weighed like way lighter. I had alphas and pixies. I had a KTF pixie that was still like way heavier, and I'm like, well, how in the heck are those things that light? So I took, I think it was my Pixie Type R, and I took it all apart, and I only put back on what had to go on to be able to fish. So I mean, I left the line guide off once. I completely left that out. I disassembled. I took and I had internally dremeled stuff that I didn't think needed on. I think that was on one of my other reels, but I got to the point where I'm like, well, I don't really need both handles. You know, the spinning reel, and that's kind of like, you know, BFS. You're kind of doing away with the spinning reel in order to use a bait caster, and I'm like, I just could run, you know, one of the handles. I'd lose a lot of weight, so I just cut one off, you know, and I weighed like how much would I lose. I was like, wow, that's a lot of weight lost just to try to get that pixie. I finally, the alphas, there's no way. The alphas, there's no way to get down to the size of that older Aldebaran and the older alphas. The pixie was within range, but I still could not get there. So I was kind of like, oh well. But the handle stuck. Once I started using it, every time I try to use a regular one, and still to this day, I feel like there's just too much there in the way. Because if you get in the habit, and you know, everybody tends, the guys that would like show a bent handle, like, I don't know how I did that. Well, what they do is, and I do it too, not only are you pulling with this hand when you're fighting a fish, you tend to hang on and you kind of pull with this one too. You kind of, you know, it's just nature. You're going to pull with both hands. You know, a lot of times you'll stop and do this, but before you do that, if it's something very big, you start pulling with this one too. And so I found that just in my times of fishing, I always ended up back here anyway. And then this gives you full range and be able to work the drag, I guess, easier than when that hand, it just felt like it was in the way. And not that I do it that often, but sometimes, and it's usually me, I got the drag too little. Oh boy, you know, I tighten the drag up. A lot of times I know it's too late because the hook set needed to have a tighter drag. But you could do the same thing if, say, you kind of have a tight or tendency to have a tight drag and you realize you have a big fish on. Well, you can jump up there and you can actually loosen that drag a lot if you needed to without, you know, trying to fumble around that other handle up there. And that, I don't know, there's just something about that, you know, not needing it there. And so I just left it off all my reels. And a lot of guys say, well, it's out of balance. Well, you don't need balance. You're just reeling. Like it doesn't affect the reel at all. The only downside, and it's the older Daiwas, and that's another thing about when you tend to be here, when I reel up, I tend to stop here. Then I push the button, then I cast. But my son, and I've heard of other people doing it, the only downside to Single Lifestyle that I've found, and it's not me, it's other people, if they tend to just, for whatever reason, stop up here and then push the button, when you go to cast, the momentum, the force can engage on. I've only really had it, the old Daiwas, because they have that real soft clutch, you know. But it seems like none of the newer reels, none of my Abu Garcias, even with other people using them, ever did it. And so far, none of the newer style reels I've never really had an issue, but I've never seen anybody with an issue. But the old Alphas, any of those, you know what I'm talking about, which Daiwa was known for to have that, you know, butter smooth. It doesn't take much to push down or to, you know, engage. Just like poop, it clicks real easy. And the Abu Garcia's had a bad reputation about it being hard to, you know, and they were hard to push the thumb and hard to kind of engage over all day fishing with Abu Garcia's over Daiwas and stuff like that. So anyway, I'm done. You got any questions? Drop below. I'll try to answer them. I'm out of here. Did anybody have any questions while I was there? No tension knob? Question mark. Huh? You talking about this reel? Yeah, it's got the 0. And that's, you guys got me going again. See, it's going to be a 30-minute video. Everybody talks about these, the 0 tensioner. You don't need to adjust it out of the factory. This one came pretty good. I couldn't get any wiggle at all. And it feels real loose, but no wiggle. So I think it's set perfect. So I've left it alone. But I had I think it's the Tatula SV I got. That thing wiggled. It was like doink 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 doink. I do not like that. I've had it in other videos, but on all my tension, even if I'm throwing this thing with a 1/2 ounce bait, when I first initially get a reel and get it set, I try to. You guys have seen it in videos. I take just the smallest possible bait I usually throw anyways, a 1/16 of an ounce or 2 grams. I tie that on the end or put it on a clip, and I let it drop. And I want it to drop kind of fast, but I want to be able to see that it's just not a free fall. There's a touch of tension there. And I found that's a perfect way to get, you know, just the right amount where you're not going to have any side to side, but you're not going to feel it, and it's not going to it shouldn't affect the cast because it's the slightest, littlest amount. Now, if you are a guy throwing 1 gram or, you know, 1.5 grams, then that's what you want. The lightest bait you're going to throw, you want it to drop with just enough resistance. Maybe when it hits the ground, you might want this to, you know, you want it to stop within range. Like this one may be a touch tight. Yeah, I think somehow this one's gotten tight, but yeah, this one's way freer on the. I need to readjust that one, which I don't know. I'm changing them and moving them around. I've had this one apart. This one's probably needs to come back a click, or it may have been because when I was out there casting, I was throwing as hard as I could to try to get it to match up with these, and it needed just a touch tighter. But that's as I get out of here. Is there any more questions? Yeah, the Dark Knight. I got that one too. Oh no, wait. I got the Black Knight. You said the Dark Knight. I don't know. Just looking at it, I mean, it looks all right. I got the Black Knight, but the all black reel they call the Dark Knight. Or no, wait. No, what do you got? Dark Knight. You ain't got the Dark Knight. You got the Dark Wolf, I bet. Because I think Sonoria makes the Dark Wolf, right? And then the Black Knight is the one I have. Okay, so if you got the Black Knight, which is this thing, right? This one comes with the drag clicker. I didn't realize, I don't know for sure if it's you can hear the noise like right off the bat. I think the bearings, hopefully they're not straight up junk, but they may need time to break in, being that they're probably not of the greatest quality, but they are hybrid ceramic bearings. I'm probably going to take the orange seals off, spray them out, put just a slightest touch of oil, and then let them run till they get to dry again, and do it like that and see what I think of this reel after I've used it a while. I am not impressed. I don't pick it over the PW100, especially the one with the newer one with the purple spool. Should really smoke this one. But this one if you haven't watched the shootout videos, I want to say I got 5 foot further than I did with this, and then this got like 8 foot further than this, and this. These two are actually not that far off. But like I said, I was putting a lot into trying to push it to get to that one. This one and this one do have 10-pound tests. This one and this one have 15. And these are the ones I did in the shootout. So I'm going to redo it. But I don't think I can get the Aldebaran as much as I want to quite touch the... if you're wanting the... Which, a lot of guys have already said it. The best casting BFS reel stock is for sure this. The best BFS reel out of the box to me is still this. For the lightweight and the clicker already in it. This one you have to add all that. Because now, even though I have a clicker, so I'm getting up there, right? I'm getting close, but there's no way to get rid of that weight, just like I talked about why I come up to single lifestyle. There's no way to get this Daiwa as light as that Shimano. There's just, it's not going to happen. There's not enough stuff you can take off. So for me, who likes lightweight stuff, I still pick this one. If this came factory with the clicker, I'd probably pick this one. But for the price to add that, I can find, well, not this one. This isn't the BFS XG, but you know what I'm saying. You can find a used BFS XG or like new or whatever on eBay they're going to be like $300. Sometimes you can find them cheaper. So I don't know, how much is a spool? 50, 60 bucks. This is $320. You're going to spend another 40 for the clicker. So you could have this BFS XG with an aftermarket lightweight spool for about the same price. You could get this with the clicker, and you're still going to have a reel that weighs an ounce lighter than this. And I bet you, now Jason says no, but I still say this, you're not going to be seeing a huge difference. I know I won't, because like I mentioned, the lightest I get to is a 16th ounce crappie jig if I'm truly crappie fishing, or if I'm bass fishing, this is about it. Them little poppers you've seen and these little bitty cranks, and I'm starting to throw other, but right around 1/8 of an ounce or 4 grams is kind of where I like to, cast. And so the PW100, all these reels are here are capable that I'm hoping I can get the Black Knight to that, yeah, and that's what my buddy Charles was just commenting about, that the clicker's not as loud. And that's one thing, the Steez A comes with a clicker, and it may be not as loud, but when you're out on the water fishing and that thing takes off, I mean, or you can tell. And that's what the clicker's for. And I still see, I've tried to tell my girlfriend, she uses this, and she used the Phantom, and basically every reel I've had has had a clicker. The old TD Ito I used to let her use with the DIY Ray Studio spool, and I put a clicker in it, just like the ones I've been showing you. And she'll be sitting there. I'm like, stop doing that. The minute you hear that, it's doing no good to do that. It's just spinning. Stop, pull the fish in. If you hear it doing this, kind of let him run. Then, keep tension on. But that's what the whole purpose of that is for, to let you know exactly. Not only can you see and feel, but you can hear, is the line going out? Am I reeling for nothing because the fish is, a little too big, or under, just a little too zesty at that moment to try to get him in. Just kind of hold him, pull him a little or whatever. And it does that job. Like, you'll be able to tell what's going on and what it's for. But yeah, I mean, I don't know. I think it sounds pretty good. It's not bad. I guess let me show you guys. Here's my down, the one that I can't figure out. And this video is going to be an hour long. Hear that sound? It's not bad. It'll get the job done, but that sucker just... And this is a reel, I'm going to talk about it real quick. This is a reel I love to hate. I bought it from a guy that hated it too, because his daughter dropped it and scratched it up. But it had... and still has, it's got KTF spool, a lot of different parts. That looks cool, but I don't like how it drops down. I actually like the stock one to feel better. But I've left it on there just because it does look cool. This reel is like one of the smoothest Shimano I've ever had. I put it like right there with some of the Daiwa reels as far as just reel so smooth, cast so good with that KTF. It's a touch. I know a lot of guys are going to say no, it's not, but for me, it's a touch big on the palming side. I'm used to the Aldebarans, even this, it's like kind of in line with the PW100, which actually no, the PW100 palms better than this Metanium. It just has a big feel, but it feels good. It's weird. It's hard to explain. I've talked about that from the time I first got it and been using it. I just can't bring myself to getting rid of it. I had two other ones I bought. I'm gonna try to make myself like them. I sold. I got rid of those quick. Bonsai guy, I think, got both those. But I just can't get rid of this reel, and it works real good. Metanium was that the 2016 model? I don't even know, but with the it was the MGL, and then MGL part don't really matter because the MGL spool is sitting in a box over here in the corner. It's got the KTF BFS spool. I think I'm gonna try to make this into. This is gonna be my new micro chatterbait rod and reel combo. I was gonna do this reel, but this reel does cast so well. I'm gonna try to put it on a lighter weight rod to throw that light stuff. Maybe it's kind of funny, but I may take this $320 rod and turn it in a reel and turn it into a crappie reel. From when I'm mainly going them small creeks with Charles or crappie fishing and stuff like that. So I'll probably be swapping around on different rods. But that's definitely, I'll take this one and the BFXG more than likely. Maybe occasionally the PW100. I think I'm going to get the other one with the purple spool and try it. But when I'm throwing those little bitty 16th ounce, that's when these will work. But if you have these and you're using these, that extra, it's not even really the 5 feet or 8 feet of difference. It's what you guys talk about, the pull. Like you'll go to cast one. If you're swinging this way, it just kind of keeps going that way. It's kind of the circle, but because the spool is heavier and it's hard to explain. But once you get used to this, it's fine. But if you're trying to go, say I'm take 2 reels and I'm switching out and I'm going from this one to this one, oh, it's a nightmare because this one has such an easy release. This one's a lot harder. But if you have 2 of these, trust me, you can get it down to where your release points are and you won't have any issues. But it's one of those things where you're trying to switch out, and even though maybe you're throwing similar baits, it's almost like when you say you grab your big heavy action, say you're throwing a medium heavy or heavy throwing frogs, and you get in a rhythm with that, and then you go down to a medium and you're trying to throw a quarter ounce crankbait or something. It just takes a little, getting used to figure out the release point. All right, I'm getting out of here before this video hits 40 minutes. So, any other questions, drop them down below, and I'll try to answer them. I was reading the comments. So, I don't know. Also, comment below what kind of videos you want to see. Do you like these kind of videos? Nobody really likes to see me out fishing. I get like 70 views. When I take my chatterbait and I go out and I start catching them. All right, guys. I really got to go. No, seriously. Things cutting out. It's 11 o'clock. I haven't put the kids to bed yet. They got to go to sleep. Oh, my God. So, comment what kind of videos you want. I know you don't want to watch me go out and blast them with the chatterbait because I get like 70 views on those and I get like 400 views when I do something dumb. Anyway, thanks for watching. Get out of here. I got to put the kids to bed and then I'm going to bed. Bye.